play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombstastingo gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maev up. It was gonna be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NGS Rewind. It's Sunday afternoon, and that means we're going to be looking back at matches that were not cast earlier this week. Today, I'm going to be, for this first match, joined by Chaotik. Welcome. All right, good, and it is working on the stream too. It's always a concern just making sure that we can actually hear your voice coming through the other half of the stream there. So Chaotik is joining. This is Chaotik's first cast. Now, where are you? What team are you on, Chaotik? Sure. Okay. And what position do you play, or what role? Okay. All right, hold on one second. It looks like it's actually not getting the sound. So all that stuff that I just asked you, they didn't get. Let's see. So it's also not getting the... Okay, so there's clearly a setting issue. Hold on one second. One moment, everybody, as we get this fixed. Clearly, it went to default settings, and that's not what we want. Let's see. Hold on one second. I can hear you, but they can't.
Oh, I see.
There we go. All right, so as I was saying, we're joined by Chaotik. So Chaotik, tell everybody at home again where you're from and your position within your team there.
Okay. Hey everyone. So I'm Chaotik. I play on Team Rewind. We're a Div A team. I play basically flex DPS, but it's a little bit of everything. Sometimes I play like the Uther if we're doing double support. Sometimes I play the Samo if like I particularly feel like doing so. I don't know. I play everything.
Well, fair enough. All right. So we'll get to hear some commentary about some DPS roles and some other things, and a little bit of a different perspective, getting a Div A player's opinions on things as we go through this. So our first matchup today is going to be between Annie Oak League and Periloot. That is a Div C West matchup. We've seen a couple of their matches so far this season here. Let's see. Team action. All right. Weenus confirming that he can, in fact, hear the stream, so that is fantastic.
Okay, perfect. Good first step.
Right. So this first game here is going to be on Alterac Pass. Let me pull up the bans here just so I can go about those. So do you what do you like about Alterac Pass, or do you dislike Alterac Pass?
Honestly, my team loves Alterac Pass. It's just a very fun map, very teamfight centric, but you can also just have some macro gameplay as well, like if you're split pushing on the other side of the map while the objective's going on. But there's just so many different ways that you can take the entire the map, so I love seeing Alterac Pass games.
Sure. So just getting a quick look here, it looks like Annie Oak League had banned out Dragonshire and Braxis. So I'm going to go ahead and put those up here. And then on top of that, we've got Periloot had banned out Volskaya Foundry and Sky Temple. So we're not going to see any of those four maps here. That's Volskaya Foundry. And then, so again, the first map is going to be Annie... is it Annie Oak Leagues? I think it was their select. Let me look. Map. Yeah, so Annie Oak League picked Alterac Pass, so I think we're pretty well set up and ready to go. Why don't we get into game number one here?
Sit to me. Let's go.
You're in there, you're in there. Okay, great. And takes a moment to load here.
Of course. as is tradition.
And so normally I would flip over to like a draft screen or what have you, but there's no draft. The bans, just so that everybody's aware, we do have Annie Oak League banned out Kira, Anub'arak, and Stukov. Periloot banned out Thrall, Stitches, and Gul'dan. And then once the game actually loads up, we'll go ahead and flip over there so that there's no sneaky little box with the timer in the corner to show everybody how long this game goes. There we go. All right, game number 1 between Annie Oak League and Periloot. Chaotik, why don't you go ahead and introduce whichever team you'd like to start with here.
Sure. So on the blue team, which I believe is this Annie Oak League? Yes.
It is, yeah.
So Gola is playing the Ana, Unicake on Jaina, Transformers on the Blaze, Angel is playing Junkrat, and finally we have Synth playing Diablo.
All right, and for Periloot on the right here, we've got Helio on Oriole there, Elivmar on Kael'thas, Argo Booster on Hanzo, Carthan on Imperius, and Swill on Johanna. So
immediately we're seeing, the traditional mid lane 5v5. But what I'm noticing is on the blue team, there's just a ton of AoE damage from both the Jaina and the Junkrat. So I feel like maybe in team fights, they might be able to just out-damage the amount of healing that Oriole's able to put out. That might look to be their win condition there.
yeah, and we do have some talents along with that here. We've got the Blaze, I think that's New Habits is what it's called. Yeah, so the Unstoppable to help with the CC potential coming out from Periloot's combo here.
That's very true as well. Like, something like an Imperius should be able to punish the blue team very, very hard, but the New Habits will definitely help with that.
Yeah, and I like the potential here for like a Hanzo arrow into living bombs being spread with the Celestial Charge from Imperius could really cause a lot of spread damage quickly, but it does require a little bit better execution on the side of Periloot than really just the poke damage that Jaina and Junkrat provide into this.
That's very true as well, especially considering there's a Johanna in the enemy team, on the red team, sorry. Like, the red team doesn't have too good of an engage, but with the Hanzo arrow, they should be able to clean that up and potentially force engages that way. So immediately we see both teams on the camp, and it looks like blue team's a little bit slower than red team is, so they're going to be able to push that out the mid lane a little bit faster than the blue team will.
Yeah, and they'll be able to clear it too. So depending on what they do here, yeah, I was just going to say, we see them rotating down as Periloot thinking maybe they could catch them on that camp, but ultimately they're going to be able to clear up Periloot's camp here right at the wall and get a little bit more time with their camp with potentially greater push, maybe?
Yeah, that's true. The towers are going to be helping to clear out the like Periloot's siege camp, but the problem is that Jaina's going to be out of mana and she's going to have to back. That should give Periloot just the free time to clear this out.
Yeah, and so the timing of these allowing for basically just a bit of a skirmish in the mid to get some XP and clear out the camps. Jaina setting up now. We've got these prison camps up in the top half of the map that will be coming online just in a moment.
Very true. And meanwhile, we see Junkrat at the bot lane just getting an extra wave over there. It doesn't look like the red team... Oh, nope, there goes Hanzo from Periloot just to clean that wave up. So they should be relatively even in XP going into this first objective.
Yeah, and that'll leave Hanzo a little bit delayed, maybe getting to the point. Well, maybe not. There's still plenty of time, and Junkrat's hanging out here, maybe looking to get one more wave of soak. And in the top lane here, so Diablo, Blaze heading back to get his mana bar filled up. Carthan sitting at about a third mana, so he's gonna clear up this lane, and then it looks like maybe head back as well.
Okay, and it looks like they're sending Blaze actually to from Annie Oak League to finish the siege camp again. Hopefully they rotate. Oh yeah, it looks like Jaina might be rotating down there as well, and then they'll actually have an advantage with this next siege camp pushing in.
Yeah, that'll give them the opportunity to push in onto the prison camp a little bit earlier, as we now see Periloot heading over to theirs as well. And you know, the one thing that I want to point out is you know, we watch these games between the different divisions, and I definitely want to see them actually take advantage of having this camp. But right now they're not really doing that. They're going to get the XP soak to work on level 7, but now both teams have their camps going in the mid lane, so kind of the camps just providing XP value as opposed to giving them the opportunity to actually start the channel.
And I think on Annie Oak League's side, that's totally fine. They are a little bit behind in XP now, so they're just looking to get 7 as quickly as possible, then probably just to clear out that camp immediately after.
So 7's online for Periloot already. Annie Oak League getting theirs now. And Blaze coming down, rotating down, may get the jet propulsion in onto the Kael'thas, does, gets the concussion mine as well, but Swill in bit of danger here, should be going down, maybe? We see the pings calling for the kill, but not able to secure that kill onto Johanna.
Yes, he's just able to escape there, but it looked like Kael'thas for a moment would get— oh no, an Imperious double stun right there, but doesn't look like there's too much follow-up damage aside from Kael'thas, but no, it looks like both teams are just going to back up, lick their wounds.
So no
Red team's
kills.
still looking.
Yeah, no kills just yet, but with relatively high health bars on the side of Periloot, they're able to make their way in here. Ana already at about half health, and it's a little bit harder for her to heal herself up than it is for the Auriel, who can just heal herself along with all of her allies.
Looks like Diablo's engaging onto the Kael'thas. He gets the flip, but not enough damage from the Jaina, and— oh, nope, never mind. Junkrat coming from the flank, able to get the kill. And Blaze is flanking even harder, managing to get 3 of them over there. Looking for a stun. Oh, and with the Q from that level 7 talent, giving him an extra crit to kill that Imperious in top lane.
And so now we get a solid engage out of Annie Oak League. They get a couple of kills and get to work onto the prison camp. So 20 seconds left for Periloot. Blaze charging in, followed up by the Diablo charge. And Hanzo feels bad right now, just being a little bit far forward in that.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's a staggered death, so I'm not sure if Periloot is going to be able to find their way back into this in order to get the first objective. And it looks like they've accepted that as well, choosing to instead do the siege camp, and that's probably the best call they can make. Just make sure that mid lane's pushing in while the other lanes, the objective is pushing into them.
Yeah, so that's going to help kind of slow down this process with the objective coming in all 3 lanes, and we're going to see them split up actually 1-3-1 here. I don't know if I would do it this way. I think I would prefer to start with one end or the other, because if they start with the middle, now they've got to kind of commit to one side, and an Annie Oak League could take advantage of that fact and go to the opposite side and get some solid push value.
That's very true, but they also have the siege camp here pushing in, so they might just be able to get a free clear onto mid and then hopefully rotate into whatever lane needs it most. Meanwhile, in the off lanes, it doesn't look like Imperious is able to wave play too effectively. Same thing in bottom lane, really. There's just, with only one person there, they're not easily able to clear them out, so it looks like the front walls of both top and bottom are going to be cleared out.
Oh, but we do see a kill onto the Diablo in the mid lane, and that's going to be Soul's reset. So a big win for Periloot in the defense there of the mid lane.
Yeah, and considering that only the front walls were lost in top and bottom, I think that's an overall win for Periloot. And it looks like they're currently going in to invade the siege camp. They do have their level 10s, and there's the arrow that we were talking about earlier, able to get the engage onto both Jaina and Ana. Meanwhile, Diablo, he pops the APOC, but isn't able to get too much of a follow-up. And Jaina goes down to not a Pyroblast, what's it called?
Flame Strike?
Flame Strike, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, that was a fantastic engage from Periloot, choosing to go in there with even numbers, but ultimately that long distance arrow positioned perfectly to be able to stun the backline and isolate the I don't remember who was up in the front. Probably it was Diablo. That's right, because he's on a banned skin. I was like, it didn't look like Diablo, but taking advantage of that.
Diablo.
Yeah, taking advantage of that, they're going to get some siege damage here in the bot lane, so far equalizing out what Annie Oak League got from the cavalry.
And that's very good, especially considering the next objective is bottom. If they're able to get that well in time for the next objective, that's going to be a big advantage for them. But it looks like the minions have been cleared out, so with that, they're just probably going to go into mid, maybe just look to get their siege camp again and start pushing that in.
Yeah, and it looks like that's where they're heading here. Hanzo getting charged right into that wall once again. And up in the top lane, so Junkrat versus Imperious. This is a matchup that I would think would favor Junkrat because of his extra range and AoE burst damage from his grenades.
Yeah, it looked like Imperius managed to get a spear stab onto Junkrat, but unfortunately, there's not too much else he's going to be able to do to get any damage on Junkrat after that.
Yeah, using that concussion mine to provide that disengage, and and here we do see Periloot having that camp once again, making their way over here, at least being mindful that they're likely on the siege camp, and working to start the channel onto the prison camp.
Right, and Blaze looking for a flank again, managing to get a stun, and there's the... oh, what is it called?
Combustion.
Combustion, yes. And it looks like basically every ult's being enforced. There's a Riptire on the Kilthus right now, but he's not able to die.
And the first death looking like it's Johanna, followed up by Blaze here with the counter kill, but Kael'thas with 30 health, and Ariel as well very low, but they get the kill onto Diablo, so even with those low health bars, it's looking very much like Periloot can continue this fight with the AoE Ariel, although Carthan going in onto Ana and Jaina by himself was looking a little bit sketchy until the rest of the team came to help out there.
Yeah, definitely. And one play that was made there was just the Diablo choosing, okay, like, I'm entirely dead, and he chose to step away from the rest of the team, not spreading the bomb to them and not resulting in even more kills there.
Right, we did just see the Junkrat and Hanzo in the bot lane there, Hanzo getting taken out by the tower, ultimately, the fort. So good play on Junkrat to kind of bait that out.
And with the engage onto Imperius and the Jaina follow-up, that's just easy kill for them, and they're able to cap their objective back up.
14 seconds left for Periloot to pick up this bottom prison camp. Looks like Ana's gonna get onto the Annie Oak League prison camp and get the channel started for them, so little ways to go, but keep in mind too that Junkrat has the potential to poke this out for days. I mean, really, as long as he's...
especially with this one flank right here, like, all he has to do is to just continually just chuck those grenades there, and Ariel's eventually not going to be able to keep up with that much damage unless they force the engage hard.
Here comes that Hanzo arrow, hits 4 in the back, Diablo being the only one missed, but Jet Propulsion in hitting 3 or 4 as well. Big Ring of Frost onto 4, and this is looking like a huge play coming out from Annie Oak League. Jaina going down, however, is going to slow down the assault, but they do finish off the prison camp as Blaze goes down as well, so 2 deaths for 1. But successfully getting the camp is gonna give them some value here.
And it looks like Diablo might go down to the bot lane as well. Yes, the Hanzo auto attack to finish it off. That was a very, very big root from Jaina, followed by the APOC with Diablo, and that was just a very big wombo. But it didn't look like everyone was just so low, but they just weren't able to finish anyone off.
Indeed. So this is going to give relatively free clear to the objective, but ultimately they're actually starting with trying to get that fort down. Not quite able to do so as they then head back to clear up the Ram Riders here in the lane.
Yeah, so bot will be pushed out for free. It looks like Hanzo and Johanna are already clearing out mid, so that won't get too much value. But looking at top right now, there's a huge minion wave, and they still have the objective pushing in. It looks like top fort will just be the first to go down.
And it's very close here as we get the rotation from Periloot heading up to clear this up. And Blaze is there to slow that down. What's that?
Oh, but he's able to make out. Yeah, he's totally fine here, and they should be able to just really clear top lane as a result.
And that is going to get a little bit of damage onto their wall at the keep. Nothing too significant. Just one small step closer here as both teams going to head over to their null camps once again, keeping these timers on cooldown.
And it does look like Periloot is closer to 16, so I'm curious to see what they'll do with it, if anything. They might be able to push in bottom, try and just match the fort in top lane that they lost earlier and just make it a 1-for-1. And it looks like Hanzo's rotating down, but everyone else might just be going to mid. Yes, it looks like they're just trying to defend their siege camp and clear out their to clear out any OP as well. And with one Hanzo Q, there we go. There goes bot lane.
So we do see at level 16 for Ariel taking the additional spell power, Wrath of Heaven, on whoever she's got her crown on. So at least for currently, that's going to be the Kael'thas getting that additional 10%.
Yes, I definitely like that a lot. I think Kael'thas has been dishing out a ton of damage, and Oh, wait. In the meantime, Johanna having to use Boss's shield. Nano being used by Jaina as well, but the big arrow.
And followed up by an APOC ring.
Again, it's like, these combos seem very good, and they're very well timed, but it doesn't look like there's too much fallout for them.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of that is the healers. You know, Gola and Helio doing a really good job of keeping their teams alive through these significant combos here. We do still have the Riptire and Combustion for Annie Oak League. So I think if a Riptire had been able to go out in that, I don't know, maybe it was on cooldown or there was pressure that I didn't catch there. But I think if they had that, probably three people from Periloot die.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, but now the main problem is there's another 30 seconds to wait until Ring is back up, another 40 seconds until APOC, and meanwhile Periloot is looking to clear out these little minions and, yes, cap their objective again.
So we do have 16 online for both teams here, and Burst Fire coming out for Junkrat, so reducing the number of Qs that he's got, but ultimately throwing them all out very quickly.
It's an interesting choice, but I feel like Ariel should be able to kill that up. Oh, Diablo looking for an engage on Imperius, not able to find the flip over, but the arrow managing to hit 3 people and Jaina goes down. Looks like Diablo might be next, but he might be able to walk away. No, it's Hanzo who gets the kill there. Meanwhile, Imperius and Johanna engaging on the Junkrat, but they should be able to get out, but Blaze, maybe not so much. And there's the Imperius stab to finish him off. And it looks like Periloot should be able to cap the objective again, and I don't think that any Oakley will be able to stall this out.
Yeah, at this point with the long timers, the long death timers there, 40 seconds still for Blaze basically. Don't see any chance for that. Junkrat's trying to poke away here, but again, it actually kind of reduced his ability to stall by taking that burst fire, because now he's got the reduced cooldown in general, but that doesn't help him to stall over time.
Yeah, usually with Junkrat on this map, you just want to throw out one bomb, annoy some people, and then once they start channeling again, you throw out another bomb, and you just continually do that until they're absolutely sick of Junkrat and they ban him next time you play all track. But
exactly.
Alright, it looks like Periloot is pushing out mid. They should be able to get this for free.
And this is well in advance of the cavalry as well, so gonna have to see, yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna have to see Junkrat rotating down to help clear this now, as it's gonna pressure Keep. The top lane is pretty far out, so they've got a few moments to kind of breathe and clear this up. Blaze trying to get away from the team in the bottom here as Periloot pressuring this bot lane with the cavalry now. And the full rotation coming from all of Annie Oak League.
Oh, and it looks like he's used Combustion to probably just clear out the rest of the minions, but it looks like a full engage with the APOC and Ring. Ring hitting nothing, but the big arrow from Hanzo and the Johanna follow-up to end up killing Blaze and Jaina as well.
And what an arrow from a mile away there, setting that up. And ultimately now just the Junkrat, and you know, Ariel's going to be able to heal up the Junkrat damage, so pretty long death timers here. But ultimately we're going to see Periloot pull back away, and we just have about half of the top lane cavalry left, so I think they're going to head down to, yeah, they're heading down to this boss here.
Yes, and it does look like Annie Oakley has to go up to top to clear that objective out, so that just gives them plenty of space and plenty of time to clear out bottom.
Yeah, and I'd kind of like to see, even though it might get a little bit of structure damage, I want to see them kind of hold this off as long as they can so that their team can res. Because really the only thing for Periloot to do is this boss right now, and that's exactly what they're doing. But it doesn't look like Annie Oak League has that in mind.
Yes, and with the level disparity as well, it looks like Periloot is level 20 compared to Annie Oak League's 18, or 19 right now, but it looks like they're just choosing to clear out the large waves that have amassed as a part of their objective, maybe get the siege camp and just hopefully get 20 with that.
Yeah, and they're gonna need it. I mean, level 20 going into this, but Periloot's not gonna attack the core, because of course the boss by itself gets cleaned out by the core if there's only one lane down. But they can get the second boss, take down that second keep, and suddenly that opens up the game for a win condition.
Yeah, definitely. Like, first of all, like, they might even be able to push to end the game if they manage to get a couple of picks while pushing with this boss. But second of all, once the next objective spawns, if they have that top keep down, then that's going to be the wave constantly pushing against Annie Oak League that entire time, which means that they should be able to get some advantage on the objective as a result.
Yeah, and again, just like the boss here, you know, one lane of pressure isn't enough to take down a core on Alterac Pass, but 2 lanes definitely is. And at that point, with no shield, 2 lanes of pressure, it only takes 1 or 2 kills, and suddenly the core dies.
Big engage onto Diablo with the Hanzo arrow into the Johanna stun, and that's just a kill. Despite him being at 100 souls, he just melted. Meanwhile, Johanna getting engaged on, but no, and very nice Aegis by Ariel to save her.
Yeah, and Johanna getting caught by the boss's attack there didn't actually... Jaina, rather. Riptire coming out into the team does get some damage, but not quite where I think it wanted to go onto the squishy backline there. Imperius getting put to sleep, maybe trying to catch him with the Diablo, but ultimately looks like they're just going to be able to disengage here. And now the boss sitting at about, what is that, 1,000 health, I think?
Yeah, the core should be able to clear that up really easily. But the important thing is now that any Oak League has 20, they should be able to find and engage on the objective point if possible. And it looks like they're looking to just clear out bottom, just try and push these waves out a little bit, get the siege camp to make sure that mid's pushing as well, and then after that they'll just go, and this is basically the best fight that they're going to get this game. Yeah,
and the siege camp that they got previously, with all of that fighting and the bosses and all that stuff, was able to clear out the mid lane as well. So a little bit more potential value from Annie Oak League as they do get the channel defensively onto their prison camp. So we'll see if they can make something happen here. This is still a wide open game, and they could, with an objective here, push right into the core.
It looks like they're choosing to engage on Diablo again, and he has no souls. And yes, that looks like he's going down as a result. The level 20 upgrade from Johanna, meaning that Blaze gets stunned for the full 2-second duration, and he just goes down to the Chaotik Phoenix as well. And with 2 dead, 3 dead now that Hanzo's managed to get Junkrat in the bottom lane, they should be able to just either choose to get this objective or even just go straight for core. No, they're choosing objective. That's definitely the safer option.
Yeah, especially with their Hanzo very low on health and everybody else about half. Hanzo being a little bit aggressive here on his forward positioning. He doesn't have that much health. I mean, if Jaina can find a quick combo on him, I mean, that's just an instant death. But
yeah,
he just clears up lane.
On Periloot are looking rather low, and Ariel's not going to be able to heal any of that up. I feel like they should be backing right now to try and heal that up, and then yes, it looks like Hans is going to do that right now. Kiltas has gone to mid to clear that out, but it shouldn't matter too much. Mid keep might go down, but with this objective pushing in both top and bottom, it should be fine.
So here we go. We are going to have a full team available for defense. Go ahead and talk for a second. I'm going to go shut him up.
Okay, never mind. I guess we don't get the third caster, but that's entirely okay. Looks like Johanna's going to clear out top, just pushing those lanes in as we have 3 members from Periloot clearing out mid. But I think the main thing they're just doing right now is just waiting, trying to regroup. As soon as Imperius comes, they'll looks like go through top and hopefully end the game through that. In the meantime, though, that does give any Oak League the free time to just clear out mid lane and potentially bottom, or they might just have to go to mid. We'll see.
Yeah, and clearing out mid is really important here because at least they have the 20 armor, so that's going to slow down the pressure. But they do have the cavalry coming in, and with the boosted damage and movement speed, that gives Periloot a huge advantage here. So Ring of Frost going out, does hit 2 in the back line there. We've got the Phoenix coming out. Jaina using Ice Block, but getting stunned there by Johanna, and ultimately is going to go down. APOC being used, gets a stun onto the Kael'thas, so they're really trying to take care of this backline, but just not able to get it without taking significant damage. Diablo being the follow-up kill there, and this core is nearly dead, and that's gonna be game number 1 going over to Periloot.
Oh, sorry about that. Looks like I momentarily disconnected.
Oh, hey, welcome back. No worries. So, well, you know what? That was an acceptable time to go ahead and disconnect as I came back from yelling at the dog, and all is good now.
Perfect. We just managed to tag team this one out.
Exactly. So, good deal. All right. Well, I've got the stats, or I guess the talents up here right now. So 7 to 20. And you know, at the beginning of that game, it felt like very much like Annie Oak League was in their element. They were able to, you know, kind of maintain the game. They even had the first fort down. They got the first objective. But once we got to level 10 and we saw that first camp engage with the deep from far away arrow, it felt like Periloot was really able to bring this back and and run away with that game.
Definitely, and just the sheer engaged potential that they had between the Hanzo Arrow and the Imperious Stab, like, both of them, they were able to literally 100-0 a full soul Diablo, and that's very, very hard to do.
Periloot in chat calling out, we're on TV. Indeed. All right, well, let's get set up for game number 2 here. Hop back out of that. And give Periloot their point for that game. So that was the pick by Annie Oak League. The second game is going to be also the pick by Annie Oak League, but it's going to be Infernal Shrines this time. Oh, gotcha. Infernal Shrines, there we go. Take a look at that. All right, so, wait, what? That's weird. Hold on a second.
It appears to be bugging out on my end as well.
Yeah, all right, we may need to restart the game here real quick.
Okay, no worries.
Game was like, let's go to Alterac Pass. Wait, that's not what we want to do.
I mean, as much as I love Alterac Pass, we just got one game there. That's more than enough.
Yeah, right? There'll be, I'm sure, more opportunities for that later. So give us a second as we get this second game loaded up here. Periloot calling this was our first and only Shrines game this season so far, despite it being one of the most popular maps in the div, and we played it almost every match last season. Well, you know what? Sometimes it pays to hold on to those matches or those maps until late in the season.
It means you can get some pocket strats in there, which no one else has seen.
Exactly. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Alrighty, so pulling up the bans here. So Annie Oak League in this one banned out Kira, Kael'thas, not a surprise there on the Kael'thas, and Diablo, which of course they had played on the previous game. Periloot banned out the Jaina, Gul'dan, and Thrall. So... Alright.
Interesting bans on both sides. I think they're just trying to get rid of as many mages as possible, which makes sense because both Jaina, Kael'thas, and I suppose Gul'dan as well, all three of them are very good at clearing out those little monkeys on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, well, it looks like we're all set up and ready to go. Let's go ahead and hop right into this game on Infernal Shrines here. Do we get some Orphea play? We do not actually get Orphea play. Not in this map, at least. What was that?
Once we start choking out like the first three mages, we can start going to the interesting ones, right? Like looking for some Chromie, maybe Kel'Thuzad, I don't know. Like, just as many mages as possible.
Yep. Mephisto's out there.
That's true.
Alright, here we go. Game number 2 between Annie Oak League and Periloot. Gonna be on Infernal Shrines here. Just gotta wait for it. There it is. Now it's popped up. And take it away, Chaotic.
Sure. So, on the left side...
Oh no. Sounds like we just lost Chaotic again. You know what? We did. Let's, we're gonna restart this here real quick. Because we can, it's not live! So give us just a second as, let me know when you're back. Give me just a second as we look to get our CoCaster back here. Oh, does it okay? Okay. Well, hopefully this doesn't take too long here. It's a second pause there, one in the last game. Messed up the order. We should have banned Kael since we already showed it off, instead of banning Gul'dan and giving them an easy choice of Kael ban. Fair enough. So who all do we have out here? Let's see here. So Ektar's here. We've got Periloot, 7th Ace, some people from Div C checking out what happened this week. Oh, let's see what this is. Okay. Oh, and Red is out there. Hi, Red. So for those of you unaware, in case any casters are excited to cast late night matches, Regen Phoenix versus Beast Coast is happening tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Currently, I think is uncast, but you know, may have somebody pick that up later in the day. Yes, it is. Actually, several games currently being uncast here late tonight. A lot of 9 to 11 games, 10, 10:30, so definitely casters check that out here. So Chaotik says, looking to load back in here. I'm seeing typing, so hopefully in just a moment. Sunday night needs some love. Sunday nights have historically not been busy nights for matches, but for whatever reason, currently it has been. Let's see. Okay, so Chaotik says that it looks like internet went down trying to get it fixed, but estimated about 10 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and run game number 2 here. Game 2. And then we'll pick Chaotik up after that. So let's go ahead and get back into this. Watch. Game number 2. All right. Here we go. So game number 2 between Annie Oak League and Periloot. This may look familiar. We just did this a moment ago. For Annie Oak League, we've got, make sure, yeah, this is the right team. Okay, so Gola is going to be playing Ana Angel on Falstad, Sith on Anubrak, Unicake on Sylvanas, and Rex are going to be played by Transformer. And for Periloot, Swill on the ETC, Carthan on Imperius once again, Argle Booster on Hero that I can't see. We'll come back to that. Elvmar on Vala, Helio on, what's her name? Wow, Alex Raza, there we go. Argle Booster on the Hanzo. Yeah, Thursday is the night that seems to have the most overall, but you know what? This season definitely has had a balance in the timing of the calendar, so made it a little bit easier for casters to cast throughout the week when they're not playing. Also, you know, means a few more replay casts. But some interesting talents. Level 1 here, we do have Gathering Storm for Falstad here. Sith going in a little bit aggressively there, and of course Vala auto-attacking her way through the Beetle's health bar there. What else do we have? We do have Beetle build coming out from Anubrak, so that's interesting as well. I guess looking to intercept the Hanzo arrows primarily, maybe even Vala's Hungering arrows. Yeah, you know, I've seen Alex Raza Ana like combos working against each other a couple times. Oh, but Anubrak getting super low here, using that Impale to disengage and is able to make it out alive. But anyways, what I was going to say is, you know, I've definitely seen the Alex Raza into Ana, and it works out okay. You know, if you're mindful of the grenades, then you can still make use of it. So we'll see how that goes here. And we do see that camp invade that was mentioned earlier here that Periloot likes to do. Argle Booster getting just a ton of damage here. And Ping's going out trying to finish him off, but Falstad instead looks like it's going to be the first kill of the game coming out from Vala. Never Q build Hanzo. Is that what we've got? Nope, Scatter Arrow. And once again, coming back in on the camp invade with that Falstad kill, and they do successfully steal that one away. Not only that, but all the while, Imperius up here in the top lane is going to give them a half-level lead so far in this game. Fair enough, Argle. So Falstad trying to keep up and eliminate the Vala, get the return kill there, but not quite able to do it. Vala able to make it out, probably just had the 1 tick of damage away there. And first shrine is coming up here in the mid lane. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher, so a little bit softer Punisher in the early game now since their changes. Oh, and Clyde telling me that it looks like I've been in that call for too long by myself, so it's going to save the bandwidth. Fair enough, Clyde. Thanks for that. Level 4 is available for both teams. And we do get Merc Queen here for Sylvanas, so that's going to help her to do damage to the Shrine Defenders, but also push harder with the multitude of camps on this map. Special Kid Miles, yep, C West. We do have other games coming up for Div D, Div A, and also a Heroic game today as well, so make sure to stick around for those, as we'll be playing this for a few hours here. But we get started onto the point here. Alexstrasza popping that Dragon Queen and giving her team a big healthy boost in the back with that healing, but moving forward, not getting the heal herself. Ultimately, they do get the kill onto a Nubrak, though. So Transformer making it out, just a little bit of health there, but it doesn't take much to be able to back away and either tap, looks like tap to clear up the Shaman camp here. And that should be a nice easy free clear for Periloot. So in response, we've got Annie Oak League picking up the Shaman camp as well as the bot lane Siege camp. Taking them a little bit of time though, so we'll see how much pressure they're able to generate from that, as we do have all 5 of Periloot in the mid lane. Punisher jumping over onto a Nubrak, and it's still fairly healthy here. Sylvanas getting a pretty decent amount of damage out on it though. So it looks like mid fort is going to go down. Rexar's going to push with the top lane. Not quite able to get the Punisher over the wall though, so they're going to be able to continue to get damage here, but it's almost dead. So ultimately the 1 tower probably goes down? Maybe not, but it's close. Let's take a look at these other lanes. So the Siege camp in the bot lane either got this wall damage or that was there before, I don't know for sure which, but also in the top lane we do have this full wall and both towers, so certainly not equal, but definitely better than 0, which is what they could have had. But we saw the rotation up, sorry about missing that there, we saw a rotation up there to grab the Rexar, and that's going to give Annie Oak League the possibility of a mid lane camp here. So only 1 camp left on the map currently, the mid lane Siege camp on the Periloot side. ETC power sliding in onto a Nubrak, knocking him back. But just the Vala damage here for right now. So not quite able to secure the kill there. And Falstad here nearby, able to maybe come in and get some burst damage. Is going to get that burst damage on with the Alexstrasza heal. And there goes the Impale onto Vala, but Vala's behind the wall, so relatively safe here. But ETC, not so much. Having to pull back, getting that big heal from the Alexstrasza, and that's going to be the full wall and towers now in the mid lane for Annie Oak League. Really bringing the value of this Merc Queen to just take down these structures, but there's Sylvanas getting very low, using that Haunting Wave to get away. And so still 4v4 here. But let's check in on Imperius and Rexar, as it looks like Imperius might be in danger here. 1 more auto attack does get the kill onto Imperius, so sorry I missed the Rexar kill earlier, but I did catch the solo Imperius this time. So level 10 here, and a little bit ahead in XP for Annie Oak League. There's the Wailing Arrow getting the silence, Impale going out onto the ETC, but not quite able to get that kill. And the retreat being called here as Lifebinder going out to keep Vala nice and healthy, and it looks like they may come back in to re-engage, but this is a 5 versus 4. They don't care. They've got the big Hanzo arrow and a huge Mosh Pit on 4.5. Ana the only one left out, but not any real significant damage there. Vala in the cocoon now, and it looks like ETC is going to be the first one to go down. Carthen as well now, so no front line left. And there, the power of those beetles soaking up that explosive arrow from Hanzo. So what an engage, or I guess not even an engage, that was the engage from Periloot. What a defense from the Ana, keeping her team alive during that 4-man mosh pit. Ah, thank you, Periloot. That would explain why. I didn't see. I was too busy paying attention to the blue health bars that were doing absolutely nothing. So, even better, more so for Gola to keep the team alive by putting the damage to sleep. All right, and we've got Annie Oakley getting onto the Mortar Shrine here. Already a quarter of the way done, using that Misha to kind of zone out the main lane for Periloot to come in. We do see the nano boost going out onto Falstad. No actual spells being used yet. Cocoon onto Vala here, so almost to 20. We do have a power slide in to Rexar. It looks like Rexar is going to be the first kill, and now Dragon Arrow coming out onto Falstad and Anubrak, both of which are very low at this point. The Gust, however, going to disengage and keep that limited to just the 1 kill on the Rexar. And that gives now Periloot the opportunity to get right back into this on the Shrine. And they're back ahead here as we've got the Wailing Arrow Burrow Charge coming in, but the Celestial Charge hitting 3. And now Lifebinder keeping Carthen in this game. Swill getting a little bit far ahead, but ultimately able to walk away, and the Punisher gonna go over to Periloot. And here it comes. We do have Rexar back on the map, but he's not in this lane. Nubrak not able to get on the other side of the wall, so all of the damage going on to the Punisher there is gonna be from those towers, which do go down pretty quickly. Sylph trying to get as much damage out onto this team as she can. Carthen taking the brunt of it. Pulls back just a little bit here. But again, you know, take a look at these Ana, or not Ana, Alexstrasza circles. I don't think I've seen one that has been countered by the Ana grenade, and that's partially because Ana's been so far back for her team. Because if she gets too far forward, I mean, an ETC can power slide, Imperius can get a Celestial Charge. So really doing very well on the Alexstrasza heals, positioning them to be far enough to be helpful to the team to continue the pressure, but not so far forward that they can just get negated by the Ana grenade, or even ultimately by Falstad throwing out a boomerang. Hammering? Whatever it is. Alright, it sounds like Chaotik is back, so I will get you in here after the game. Alright, we see the pings going out for the various camps here, as each team picking up their shrine, their shaman camps, but also Annie Oakley getting the mid lane siege camp there. But split out here a little bit. We've got Imperius and Rexar once again in the top lane, and once again the siege camp on the red side being the only one available on the map here. Well, that is true, Ektar. Yeah, going that Q build, allowing her to pick up those flower petals from the level 7, making it so that her heals are basically free. Also, level 13 here, we got the Life Unbound, instant heal for 15% of their health. So, 4-man push in the mid lane, using the value of this Merc Queen, as we see the auto attack Vala getting her level 4 quest completed. That's going to give her additional damage on her hatred stacks. ETC already at half and chooses that time to go power sliding in here. The Dragon's Arrow and Wailing Arrow, so many arrows in this game, going out there. Falstad again with the nano boost, looking like he's going to try to get pressure onto that ETC. And ultimately, ETC just fine, gets the life binder. I think I would have liked to see AOL try to, you know, pressure that ETC. He was at half health, diving right into the team, and didn't get punished for it. So, but Rexar, either aware or being told that the team is rotating up, does this time get out of dodge well before the enemy team shows up. And in the bot lane, Argle Booster versus Angel, Falstad versus Hanzo, Archer versus Griffin Rider. But this time it's going to be the rotation onto Hanzo, but he's able to get out, hidden behind that wall, and now we see the inevitable hunt for the player that made it out. Top Shrine coming up should be, is it going to be a Frozen? Yeah, it is going to be a Frozen Punisher up here in the top. Now, currently the structure value being slightly in favor of Annie Oak League, as they've already gotten the top fort about halfway down. So we'll see how much value they can get out of that. The Frozen Punishers obviously now shut down the towers and structures. So with the combination of a Sylvanas, that could be a significant push here. But we're going to see that Wailing Arrow and the tanks just taking loads of damage. The Gust pushing ETC out of the heal, but ultimately the Lifebinder saving him. And now Dragon Queen popped, but the Cocoon locking down and allowing them to secure the kill onto Imperius here. Swill in a bit of danger, having to pull back, but Elmar is going to be the next kill as Vala not able to survive the onslaught. Helio trying to keep the dream alive here, knocking the team back. Ultimately, Hanzo securing the Punisher, but Sylv basically able to say, yeah, we don't care about that. We're gonna take this fort for free because we have black arrows. Now it looks like they're, with the fact that they've got their full fort up there, they're gonna do the same thing moving on to the keep here. So a very significant aggressive play here coming out from Annie Oakley, and they might get the kill onto Argle Booster. Not quite. Celestial Charge coming in, locking two of them down, but it looks like they should be able to secure this keep. And we've got ETC and Alex Straza coming back, but the Imperius going down. Reign of Vengeance stalling the team here. And now with that staggered death, this gives Annie Oakley quite a positive position. ETC power slides in, does get the mosh pit interrupted by Sith with that burrow charge, and now ETC going down as well. Cocoon used once again on Alex Straza, the Wailing Arrow getting Argle Booster locked down as well as Vala, and now the Big Gust pushing them away from their gate. This looks like it's going to be game number 2 going over to Annie Oak League. And even from far, far away, that Hanzo arrow is not going to be able to stop this onslaught. What a comeback game from Annie Oak League after game 1. Able to push, ignoring entirely the loss of the Punisher, and going all the way through a fort, a keep, and a core. All right, let's see if we can get Chaotic back in here. Show these talents for everybody here. Chaotic, are you with me?
Hello.
There
Sorry
we go.
about that.
Yeah, no worries, it happens.
Spontaneously decided, you know what, we're not going to work today.
You know what? It's a Sunday. Can you blame the internet for taking a day off?
That's true, that's true. After all the hard work it does for me.
Right? All right, well, we just, I don't know, were you able to watch that on the stream?
Yeah, I managed to catch the end of that.
All right. So, it's a pretty fantastic game there between Annie Oak League and Periloot, giving them the evening up of the series there. Pretty crazy ending there, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It was a very bold play for them to just go straight for the keep instead of just clearing it out, but obviously it paid off. They managed to get the kills. Very
right. So let's see. Game number 3 is going to be Battlefield of Eternity. And, you know, I'm gonna guess once again that this is probably Annie Oak League's pick. It's not actually. It was Periloot's pick. So okay, fair enough. What I was going to say is I feel like this is a good map for Annie Oak League because these past couple of games they've done pretty decently in the early game, and even in this circumstance, like they kind of won a team fight, won the game, which is often how this goes. But for the most part, I felt like the early game has been very much mostly balanced, but slightly in favor in Annie Oak League. And Battlefield of Eternity really rewards that behavior when you're able to take early objectives and push. It's much easier for you throughout the game. But unfortunately, it was Periloot that picked, so they just said that we can win it.
I definitely agree with that. There's a lot of snowball potential, especially if you get a Sylvanas, you get one objective and just push it, run it down all the way to keep or even core, maybe off of first objective alone. So it'll be interesting to see how the early game plays out for this game then.
So let's see. Let's get you back in here. All right. So see if this pulls you into the lobby. It did. Excellent. So, that's the wrong one. Let's try this again. Are you still there?
I'm still inside. It's giving me the quick match screen.
Okay.
I think it's just bugged out again. One second,
Yeah.
let me just log out and back in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to as well because it's got me doing the same thing. I don't know why it does that. Sometimes it does that.
I don't
Takes
know,
you to
the
the-
replay system in HOTS is always a little bit finicky, you know.
Yeah. So give us just one moment as we get this loaded up here. Top grade replays, yeah, no doubt. Rank 1 NA, anybody? Let's see. I did get the opportunity to play with some of the EU Heroes Lounge players the other day as they, I guess not all players, some staff, as they were doing a charity stream. It was a lot of fun, and you know, being able to just represent NA in some of these games, which we actually won. It's a good time. Some of them we lost, but we won some.
There you go. Representing NA, making us proud.
All right, let's see if this works. Yeah,
There you
I actually got to play. It was all just ARAM stuff, but I got to play some Mephisto on ARAM, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Mephisto definitely does insane amounts of damage in ARAM, because you can't really escape. You can't run to another lane with Mephisto if there's only one lane to begin with.
Exactly. All right, so Battlefield of Eternity here is loading. Let's take a look at our ban. So Annie Oak League banned out the Hanzo. They said, we don't want to see any more of that. They also banned out Stukov and Raynor. Periloot this time banned out Kira, Anubarak, which was instrumental in their victory in that last game, and Thrall. Let's see. All right,
And
there we go.
immediately I'm noticing on Annie Oak League they have the Stitches Toronto combo, so we should be looking for hooks this entire game. This should be fun. So on Annie Oak League we have Synth playing that Stitches, Gola on the Toronto, Unicake playing Vala, I believe. That's an interesting skin. Angel on Mephisto, and finally Transformer playing that Rexar.
All right, and for Periloot, we've got Elfmar on Kael'thas, Swill on Johanna, Helio on Oriel again, Argo Booster on... Wow, I cannot tell what that is. Chromie, that's why she was hiding behind the tower. And Carthan on Artanis. Yes, sometimes I can't pop up the tab screen to just read down the list, so I have to kind of look at the actual players, and if the player's hiding behind a tower and they're tiny, it makes it a little difficult.
Yeah, with a skin as small as that, but honestly, that's an amazing skin. I love it.
Yeah, it's a really fantastic skin, and I'm glad that they added the defined circle around the slowing sands heroic, because when it first came out, it was nearly impossible to see on certain maps. It was almost as bad as Stitch's the Cuddle Bear Putrid Bile.
I can imagine. This skin isn't banned, is it?
It's not.
Okay.
But it certainly might have been if they hadn't added that defined, border around it. So,
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah. So we do have some changes in talents. So Rexar taking the additional auto attack damage for Misha. We've of course got the Monster Hunter from Vala, but Elvmar getting very low on the Did I say Kael'thas? I think I said Kael'thas at the beginning. Elvmar's not playing Kael'thas, they're playing Jaina. What am I talking about?
Okay, you fixed it now. Just pretend it never happened.
Yeah, it didn't, obviously.
Exactly.
But that also means we have a double mage comp from Periloot. So Sith, however, getting Detainment Striked into that wall, and that is going to be First Blood.
Yeah, it's a very good Detainment Strike from Ariel, just managing to lock that Stitches down. They do have, Periloot does have a double mage comp, but the thing about Chromie is ever since she got reworked for, what, 5th, 6th time or whatever, she's much more about that sustained damage now, right? She has a ton of Qs, she has her auto attacks, and both of those are just very, very good at just dishing out as much sustained damage as possible. So I feel like this is one of the few situations where double mage comps can actually work.
Yeah, and she's got the, with the level 1 there, she's going to get eventually that additional Echo or Clone or whatever it's called. And that's going to give her the additional race value as well.
Yeah, definitely. But for now, she's looking to just stack it. She has 16 stacks, and she needs a total of 40, I believe?
Yeah, 40. And level 4 is available here for Periloot. Huh. My overlay looks funny. That's weird.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, it looks like Artanis is getting a little bit low, able to clear out the minions just fine, but this does give Rexar the space to just go straight for the siege camp. He might be able to get this in time, but no, it looks like Artanis has spotted it out. I'm not sure how much he'll be able to do for it. He does get a good swap, but he looks a little bit trapped now, honestly. I'm not sure what he'll be able to do there. He might not be able to get out.
Yeah, I expect a Misha stun here to... And he does get it, but Johanna's coming up, yeah.
And with a couple more auto attacks, that's a Rexar death right there. And the score is now 2-0 in favor of Periloot for kills. But this does give any Oak Leagues time to just race, and they've already got maybe a quarter of the Immortal Burn down.
So with the Tyrande Vala, that gives a slight edge, I think, over to any Oak League in the race. Although, I'm assuming we have amateur opponent. We do. So when Artanis is available, I think that they're a little bit balanced, especially also when Chromie finishes her quest. So we'll see here. Oh my goodness, look at how quickly that gets burned.
Wow, okay. With the auto attacks and the Q value from Chromie, it just looks like basically a free immortal for them. The thing is, there is a bottom objective. Oh, no, never mind. The bottom camp will be cleared out by the towers.
Alright, so red team Immortal coming in here for Periloot. And a hook going out onto Argol here. The Lunar Flare not able to land, as Chromie, just a tiny target, able to just step out of it. Big damage from those Sandblasts. Going out onto Gola, though. Really have to be careful here.
Getting stacks. She's at 29 right now, and she's getting very, very close to that 40.
Yeah, she's a little low on mana, as is Jaina, so their push potential here is somewhat limited. And Mephisto coming in just to get the poke damage and the Immortal going down, but the hook going out onto Chromie. Lunar Flare once again doesn't hit Chromie, but does hit the Johanna. And they're trying to catch up to her. They do get the kill.
Yes, with that Mephisto Q, just able to launch that skull just straight at Chromie's face, able to get the kill as a result of that. Very well done by him. And that does give any Oak League the free time just to grab that siege camp for free, essentially. The rest of Periloot is going to have to back. Jaina needs to get that mana back, and it looks like Johanna elected to do the same.
Yeah, and you know what? The argument could be made that Chromie just wanted them to get the kill on her so that she could have a free health and mana bar back. That's probably what she was going for, right?
Yeah, of course.
And with the siege camp in the bot lane, we see any Oak League looking to push what they can out of this value while the team was down both of their DPS players.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, though, Johanna looks like she's managed to actually successfully gank the Rexar. Oh, will he be able... Oh, wow, he escapes with just a fraction of his HP, 70 HP. Very well done by him.
If Swill had a flash of light there, that might have been enough to finish the job, but not quite able to do it.
That does give any Oak League the free space to potentially get that well down bottom, though. while Johanna's still up top.
Yeah, and
yes, it looks like they have done so.
Yeah, they
They
do
might
get
even
that.
start be able to push the fort down. I don't think they'll be able to complete it, but maybe get like, oh wait, a big hook onto Jaina, the slam follow-up, but not too much else. And now they're actually tanking the forts. Looks like Vala is getting engaged on. That's another... Oh, the temporal loop on Vala. Will that be enough damage? Yes, the Komi W is just able to get it. And wow, a big snipe.
So
Able to get the kill on the stitches as well.
yeah, so the kill on Stitches, but also Mephisto dying to the fort, going in deep, trying to get the kill onto Jano. It was off screen, unfortunately, but able to trade 1-for-1 on the mages, but ultimately 3-for-1 overall. And level 10 is going to be ahead for Periloot.
Looks like a solo laner battle, but no, Chromie's coming in again, just hitting those Qs, hitting those auto attacks, and just managing to get another kill onto Rexar. And with that, that does give level 10s to Periloot.
So we do have the suppression pulse to help kind of counter out some of that damage from the Vala. Also, I guess the Misha damage as well. So hook onto Artanis as Annie Oakley trying to do what they can to defend their Immortal, but it's already going into halftime.
A big root comes out, manages to hit one. Oh, and that gives basically a free swap for the Artanis. He tries to use his W ability to chase the Mephisto, but of course Mephisto will just return to where he came from, and he dies there. Detainment Strike onto the Stitches, and Vala ends up going down to the Temporal Loop from Chromie, while Tyrande gets cleaned up by the Jaina.
I am interested to know how deep in the draft Chromie came into this, because Tyrande doesn't have any cleanse, which means that, you know, any of those heroes ultimately get stuck with that Temporal Loop. And Vala being very low in health, like that's a pretty rough time. Even if Tyrande gets pulled by that, so let's see. Yeah, she did take the Calderai resistance, so she does have the spell armor when she heals. So at least there's that, but not being able to eliminate it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. With the sheer amount of burst damage coming out from the Jaina, off of the Temporal Loops, like they're usually just able to get kills, 20 spell armor now.
Right. So there goes that suppression pulse from Artanis in the bot lane, all the way, providing his value here to try to slow down what damage he can onto this Immortal. But it's about to lose its shield and go into melee range. This should be a fort down, though, it looks like.
The fort should go down, but I'm not sure how much more. Oh, a Temporal Loop onto the Mephisto. He gets rooted by the Jaina and then teleported back just for a free kill. Tyrande also did get rooted, and with the Jaina crossbolt, that's another kill right there. Stitches does get Detainment Strike in the backline, and yes, there's no way he's getting out of that. That's a third kill right there. I don't know if they'll be able to push up too much more than maybe a tower or two. However, the Immortal's HP is at 50, and no, it's gone now.
They do still have a full minion wave here, though, so, I mean, there's still, you know, health bars, mana bars doing pretty well. But it looks like they're going to head down maybe to the Shaman camp? Yeah, it looks like that's where they're going. Yeah. No?
Oh, no, wait. They're just going for the Rexar kill. And potentially to get the Siege camp afterwards. And yes, Rexar gets a big swap from Artanis, actually. That was pretty impressive. And a Detainment Strike straight into the fort, and he's just accepted it. He's getting actually demolished by the fort itself. But actually, it's a lot of slows, and no. There you go. Another brutal swap to clean him off.
I think the idea was he was going to try to use Misha to get a charge onto the team, because they were all very close together. One charge would have gotten them all, but not when you get swapped into the enemy team.
The swaps that I've been seeing from this Artanis player are actually very impressive. He's been getting so many onto the Rexar this game.
Yeah, and that's a pretty solid matchup, the Artanis into Rexar, right? For that exact reason, because once you get a swap, it's, you know, I don't want to say easy, but it's relatively easy to get that damage onto the Rexar then.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Periloot is just currently going to the Bruiser camp, looking to clear that out. They do have the 13 advantage, so they might just use that to get the Siege camp top. Meanwhile, Annie Oakley's just doing their best to get that 13, so that way they can fight on an even pound here when the objective spawns in 15 seconds. But for now, yes, the camp top gets taken, and that's about all that can be done until the Immortal spawns. A hook onto the Bruiser camp actually just means that it'll be cleared out, but oh, a swap just barely missing right there.
And this time Putrid Bile going out. Oh, but the root onto Stitches. Follow up with the Blessed Shield. Not able to get the kill onto Stitches, though. I thought that was a for sure thing.
Yeah, it was a big root, a big blind as well. But Oakley was actually just able to disengage relatively effectively, so good on them.
Well, and I have to say, I think a lot of that was the Caldera resistance that we mentioned earlier. Because Stitches did not have a lot of health there, and without that, I think Stitches goes down for sure.
With that, though, it does give the halfway point over to Periloot, as Oakley did take a little bit of time, you know, lick their wounds, just heal back up. But it looks like now might be the best time for them to fight. This is probably the best fight they're going to get before 16. Arcanus looking for a swap on Tronda, but Gola just able to dodge that right there.
And we do have Rexar and Vala getting what damage they can onto the Immortal. No, actually, they're defending. It's kind of awkward.
A pretty big hook onto the Johanna there, and the Vala is stunned to follow it up, but they're not able to get enough damage to kill her. And actually, maybe.
Consumes is not able to finish it.
That goes down.
So low health bars all around for Periloot, but ultimately it's going to be 2 kills going over, well, 2.5 kills if you count Misha here on Annie Oakley. They do get the kill onto Jaina though.
And it looks like Arcanus might be the next to fall. Yes, he is. But with that, in the meantime, Chromie and Ariel were just able to finish off the Immortal. So that's basically a full shield Immortal that's going to be barreling down the bottom lane. And without a bot fort tower wall, that means that bot fort is basically gone right now, and probably even the keep as well.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, Ektar pointing out scaling really winning that fight for Periloot. And you know what? 2 levels of extra health and damage, very much so. If that was an even level fight, I think that Annie Oakley wins that fight, just considering how close they had so many players on the Periloot side. Good Detainment Strike, almost catching Stitches in the Immortal stun as well. I'm not really sure what Stitches is doing here. I guess trying to zone out the team using Putrid Bile, but all by himself.
Oh, a Detainment Strike pushing him back, but I don't think they'll be able to get the kill on him. Yes, he's just able to walk out. But he has created a lot of space, enough for the full shield of the Immortal. Oh, a big hook onto the Chromie, but no follow-up, unfortunately. And Gola getting very, very low, just barely able to dodge the root right there. Rexar, meanwhile, looking for a flank with his boars, managing to slow the entire team and resulting in a free hook onto Jaina. Are they able to get the kill? No, she's barely able to dodge the stun, but she does get stunned out by the Misha and killed as a result. And it looks like Annie Oakley is trying to chase a little bit farther, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to find anyone else. It looks like everyone else has managed to disengage.
Yeah, at this point, we see 16s now, so Rexar picking up that feigned death. I think Rexar's the only player on the team of Annie Oakley that can now avoid a temporal loop return. Unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I think that's true. Maybe some shenanigans with Mephisto, but I don't think that's the case. But what this does is it does give Annie Oakley the 16 that they were waiting for a while, and essentially now they're even on talents.
Yeah, and
surprise at the stage, but a very big Aegis from Ariel is able to save her there. But this does mean that they're able to push in the bottom lane. Chromie does get a temp loop onto Mephisto, but unfortunately they don't have the damage to finish her off.
And now it's going to be Stitches here in danger, having to pull away, but Mephisto going in deep. Using that Shade of Mephisto to go in, ultimately trades his life for Stitches, I think, there, as the team was able to turn around and just finish the job there. Not sure that I necessarily care for that trade either. Maybe Stitches could have made it out, but definitely Mephisto doesn't.
Yeah, that's another 20 seconds before Mephisto will be back, and with the Immortals spawning very soon, Periloot is just going to be able to step up, probably get the halftime show as a result.
But first we're going to see this fight over the Shaman camp, and Stitches getting, again, Detainment Striked into that wall, and stunned for a good long time, gets ultimately killed there. Vala trying to get the kill onto Chromie, but timeout followed up by a Crystal Aegis. And
a big
Chromie going down.
Jaina, though, and so much follow-up with the Blizzard, and another swap onto the Rexar. This is just mean at this point.
Mephisto's back, but not really in a position to get anything just because there's nobody to follow up with. Mephisto can only do so much by himself, and so they're going to try to get what they can between Mephisto and Tranda onto the Immortal. But as you can see, this is just melting on the side of Periloot. Periloot, the whip giveth and the whip taketh away. Did I lose you, Chaotic?
No, I'm back
No,
now.
okay. Just making sure.
Just having very weird internet issues, and actually a weird visual bug on my end where I can't even see the Immortal. Oh, a big hook onto the Artanis. He does have a blind, so he should be fine out of that. But that is the Red Immortal. It's going to be able to push down that top heap, and again, without the top heap wall, I doubt that they'll be able to do too much more to save that keep there.
Yeah, for sure. So level 19, so Chromie has her level 20 available, and going for Piercing Sands, that's going to be absolutely devastating for this team, for Annie Oak League here in these team
Definitely.
fights. Misha no longer able to be a brick wall for their team, but the big swap onto Stitches, the Lunar Flare going out trying to help out, but once again, here comes that Temporal Loop, and Stitches at half health already, walking into, I guess, not quite able to get into the Immortal Stun, but a two-man root onto Stitches and Mephisto is going to bring them down, but nobody dies yet.
Yeah, the hook was pretty good onto the Jaina, but the nice Aegis from the Ariel able to save her again. And it looks like Annie Oak League is just trying to push up. They've lost the keep. They managed to get the Mephisto kill. Oh, never mind. Periloot managed to get the Mephisto kill. And with that Pierce from Chromie, she's just able to rip through the health bars of Annie Oak League.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at I was just gonna say, I'm looking at these lined up heroes just taking all of this damage, and this looks like it could be the end of the game here, as Annie Oak League slowly following, trying to make it back to their base, if nothing else, to save their KDAs.
Sith managing to get one more hook, so the hook hit percentage is actually is pretty good at least. But with that, Periloot does manage to take the 2-1 victory.
Alrighty, so I don't know why, but there's a change to the overlay. Maybe it's just this game or something, but it actually shows the OBS overlay. It shows the actual like 0 points and the bar for the team names, which it doesn't, not supposed to do that I'm aware of. But 6 kills to 23, and pop up these level 20 talents for you guys to take a look at as well. So Chaotic, that's the end of match number 1 here between Annie Oak League and Periloot. I realize you didn't get to have the full experience, but what would you like to say, just looking back at this match? Anything you'd like to point out, or that you liked, didn't like?
Honestly, all I can really say is just thank you so much. That was my first cast, so I'm very thankful that you were able to assist me throughout all of that. And then GG's to both teams. I think they both played very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite a good matchup between these two teams here. Let's take a quick peek here at the standings. Just gotta find them. So let's see, Annie Oak League and Periloot. Alright, pop that up here. Alright, so Periloot, after this, is set up at 18 points. They are number 3, and Annie Oak League sitting right now number 9 with 8 points. So they are looking to try to get some more points to overcome Team Rainbow Strike Go at number 8. So, and Periloot pretty well, I think they're probably locked for playoffs there. Butte doesn't like
take a point off of the 3rd place team.
They did, absolutely, and that provides a lot of value there. So let's see, winner was Periloot. Update that. There we go. All right. Well, Chaotic, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm glad that we were able to get your first cast. You did a fantastic job. I hope you get the opportunity to cast with some other people. We do have some of those casters in chat and other co-casters in chat. So, you know, make sure you check out what's going on the calendar and reach out to other casters and see if you can sign up and join them as a co-caster. Or look to do your own casting. I think you'd do a great job on this.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for dealing with all of the internet issues that I had today.
For sure. All right, everybody, we'll be back in a few minutes here as we're going to hop into a Division D matchup that I will tell you in 1 second who that is, because I forgot. Division D is Disturbance versus Camino Saber Darts. And we're going to be joined by Butte Holiday and a special guest. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a few minutes as we get this set up.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.